shot. Cooper caught it somehow.
Cowboys OT is brought to you by Geico. 85 years of savings and service. Sleep Number, the Sleep Number 360 smart bed, helps everyone from parents to pros improve their performance through quality sleep. Only at a Sleep Number store. And NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full and condensed game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl.
The Dallas Cowboys keep a firm grasp on first place in the NFC East with a 36-28 win over the previously unbeaten Carolina Panthers at AT&T Stadium. It's the third win in a row for the Cowboys, and we're breaking it down for you here from the Star in Frisco in the Globe Live studios. This is Cowboys OT. Alongside Barry Church, Nate Newton, Isaiah Stanback, all three former Dallas Cowboys. I'm Kyle Yeomans, where, gentlemen, we take another look at an offensive-heavy game and a takeaway-heavy game for the Cowboys defense. It's been the combination of the two, and again, we see it here in Week 4.
Yeah, man, these boys came to play. One thing I was looking for was the battle of the wheels as we entered today's game. We knew that Carolina was a high-intensity, bring it all, give it everything they have type of team in all three phases. And I think that we not only matched their intensity, but we finished the second half of the game, so we actually exceeded them, and that's why we resulted with a win.
You know, it's two worries I had, man. I was hoping that Randy Gregory have a big game, and he did. I was worried about the middle of our offensive line, you know, with Biotish and Connor Williams, man. But they handled their job against Derrick Brown and Daquan Jones. Great job, gentlemen.
Yeah, this team came to play, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And going into this game, I had a little bit of worries if we were going to be able to win the game without having a takeaway. Hey, those worries went aside because Sam Darnold, he was able to go out there and, you know, he's been playing mistake-free football. But today, Trayvon Diggs got the best of him.
This one was really fun from the get-go. Let's see how this one unfolded. The Cowboys get the win over the Panthers, but it really started off with a couple trading back-and-forth defensive stops. Randy Gregory with his first sack of 2021. Then the offensive line got things going, paving the way for Ezekiel Elliott's 50th career touchdown scamper. But that didn't last very long. DJ Moore over the middle of the field bounces off of the hit from Micah Parsons and then rolls out wide to the right. He picks up a ton on that one to keep the drive alive for the Panthers. Following that, it set up a Sam Darnold touchdown run, his fourth of the season. He's the leader in the NFL in rushing touchdowns. Then this one from Dak Prescott, able to roll out on 4th and 2 for 21 yards. Flipping the momentum in that first quarter really allowed the Cowboys offense to settle in, and it set up this play, Isaiah, 18 yards to Blake Jarwin over the middle.
Yeah, we knew that coming into this game that Carolina was going to want to play man-to-man defense, and we knew that we can exploit them in that. As you see here, they decide not to switch off their coverages. Boom, gets an inside release, easy touchdown.
Blake Jarwin with his first receiving score since November 4th of 2019. The Cowboys elected to go for 2 here because of a defensive penalty, and they come up just shy. You see Dalton Schultz stopped just about an inch short of the goal line, almost had an opportunity to go up a little bit further, but instead Carolina answered, and guess what? Another touchdown run from Sam Darnold, now his 5th rushing touchdown. Who knew Sam Darnold was a dual-threat quarterback? That was a big drive for the Panthers, but the Cowboys defense steps up with Randy Gregory's 2nd sack of the game on 3rd down, setting up a 53-yard field goal that works to the left from Zane Gonzalez. This is in the 3rd quarter, and goodness gracious, look at this throw from Dak Prescott over the top of the defense where Amari Cooper was there, Isaiah.
Yeah, that was just one-on-one coverage. We've been looking for Coop all year long to go one-on-one. We decided to go outside, take advantage of it. Even with the bummed hammy he sustained in the first half, he still has enough to beat C.J. Henderson.
Yeah, the Dak throw over the shoulder with Coop. Coop, by the way, battling through a hamstring injury, and then the defense really got after it from that point. The momentum completely shifts. Chauncey Golston with his first professional sack, the 3rd-rounder out of Iowa having a day to force a 3-and-out, and this 6-yard touchdown, this big run from Ezekiel Elliott for 40-plus yards, his longest run of the year, setting up what was a 6-yard touchdown pass to Dalton Schultz and Zeke Eaton on the sideline. And this offense really just finding a groove from the early parts. There's the touchdown pass to Schultz. And he, after having a rough start to the game, a couple fumbles early on, really found a rhythm. Who else found a rhythm, Barry Church? How about Trayvon Diggs?
Oh, yeah, this was a gift right here from Sam Darnold to Trayvon Diggs. But I got to give a little credit to Dan Quinn out there. He confused him a little bit, gave him a zero coverage look. Diggs was able to back off right into that window. Sam Darnold didn't see him. Trayvon Diggs with another interception.
He becomes the 4th Cowboys player in franchise history to have an interception in each of the first 4 games, in 4 games in a row in the career. And how about this move from Cedric Wilson? 23-yard pitch and catch for the touchdown, and then Diggs gets after it again.
He got another one right here. Baited Sam Darnold to throw in this ball. Did a great job of not going through the receiver, going over the top. Great pick, great hands, 5th of the year.
5th interception of the year for Trayvon Diggs, and it set up a field goal for Greg Zuerlein, 37 yards out. Easy money for Greg the leg. And how about Micah Parsons getting in on the action? He picks up a sack. 5th sack of the game for the Dallas Cowboys defense as this defensive line really got after it. But just when you thought it was over, Carolina came storming back. This one to Brandon Zelstra for 55 yards. He takes this football all the way down to the 13-yard line and really made things nervous for the Dallas Cowboys as DJ Moore finds his way open and Darnold hits him on a bullet right at the goal line to make it a 1-possession game. Up by 8. This is what you saw on this one, Barry.
Yeah, right here, this was a great play designed by the Carolina Panthers right there. DJ Moore coming out of the backfield, runs a great angle route, wide open, no one there. Great score for the Carolina Panthers.
So 36-28 was the score, and the Cowboys offense was tabbed with the task of really running out the clock here. Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard were up to the challenge after this touchdown throw to DJ Moore. Man, this thing made it really nervous after it looked like the Cowboys had found all the rhythm and all the momentum, but it was Zeke to Pollard on the pitch, a first down and able to run out the clock as the Dallas Cowboys come out on top of this one. 36-28, the final score from AT&T Stadium, and you saw it all there. It was back and forth, and the Cowboys really took over in that third quarter, but it looked like they let off the gas a little bit.
Yeah, they let off the gas, and that's not what you want to see. I know one of the first things that we noticed back here in the studios was the fact that Diggs wasn't in the game towards the end there. I don't know if it was an injury thing, but regardless, it looked bad optics-wise. But we let off the gas. You know, we obviously want to keep the pressure on, especially when you're facing a team that is as effective and intense as the Carolina Panthers.
And go for it.
You know, you gotta be patient with this team. They got a young defense, and that's where I think they let up the most is on defense. They got to just keep the hammer down. And yes, Diggs was on the sideline, so that could have been a big factor there.
This was a gritty, physical win for the Dallas Cowboys. It was really old school when you combine the defense and the run game. When we come back, we'll talk about that physicality and the Cowboys' 8-point win, their 3rd straight over the Carolina Panthers.
This segment is brought to you by Ashley Home Store, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
Back here on Cowboys OT following a 36-28 win for the Dallas Cowboys over the Carolina Panthers. Barry Church, Nate Newton here from the Globe Life Studios. And gentlemen, let's talk about the nitty-gritty run game and the defense. Starting with the defense, though, that it took for the Cowboys to win this ball game. The defensive line missing multiple pieces up front, but they were still able to get 5 sacks.
They were still able to get 5 sacks, and I love the fight, the grit, the scratching, the clawing that I saw out of this defense. That first half had me a little bit worried. You know, Hubbard was running the ball well. Sam Darnold was very efficient out there, but I don't know what was said at halftime. But they came out, it was a different monster. It was a different beast out there. That defensive line, especially on the interior with Osa and those boys, they got after Sam Darnold. They forced him to make mistakes out there, and he hasn't done that all year. This defense was flying today.
You know, in the earlier the game, you know, they had a game that freed up Randy Gregory. They got linebacker, tackle out. He came around free, punched the center in the chest, got his first sack. Came back later in the game, took your ball upfield, got a holding. You know, almost took his face mask off. And then the next play, he beat him with an inside move. So you know what, Randy Gregory, great day. Hey, you led the defense today.
Had a couple of sacks, and like I said, the defensive line combining for 5. And the takeaways were the calling card for this defense through the first 3 weeks of the year. They continued that today with Trayvon Diggs. My goodness, he has been special.
I mean, how impressive can you be as a rookie? I mean, I know, or not as a rookie, as a second-year player. I know I was impressed with Parsons out there, but this guy Diggs, it doesn't matter who he's going against out there, whether it's a top receiver, whether whoever it is, he's locking these boys down, and he's running the routes for them out there. And another thing he's doing, he's not creating penalties. He's not holding, he's not tugging. He's doing his techniques out there. Al Harris, the defensive backs coach out there, has these boys running well. And look, his play is infectious out there. The other DBs are picking up as well, Nate.
You know, when I look at a good defense and a solid defense, Barry, and you attest to this, first and second down, you're okay. But when it's third down, they're getting sacks. They're getting turnovers. They're setting on routes. They're doing it. Coach Quinn is getting these guys mentally and physically prepared, and it's transforming to the field. And you see it by Diggs and what Randy Gregory did today.
Yeah, the Cowboys holding the Panthers to just 4 of 13 on third down. I mean, that is a complete 180 from what you saw in 2020. Here's the stats top to bottom. That you saw the production. I mean, quarterback hits, they were in the backfield a ton. Sam Darnold didn't have a whole lot of time to throw. Tackles for loss sky high at 8 in this ball game. And though you didn't force a fumble, you had the 2 interceptions, and you were all over those passes defended. How much credit is to the personnel that has been added to this Cowboys defense? Because you mentioned Dan Quinn, Nate, but is it the personnel and the talent that's on that side too?
Definitely. You know, I'm kind of conflicted here because they have 1,800 packages, and I ain't think at the beginning of the year you could have 1,800. They got a big nickel, a little nickel. They got this guy, that guy. They got Parsons at the end. They got the linebackers. So, yes.
How do they keep that package so complex but also very simplistic at the same time? Because you saw it last year whenever they tried to go complex with Mike Nolan, it didn't work out.
What it is, each guy's took it upon himself. These players have took it upon themselves to understand what their parts is in this situation, and they are individually taking care of their business so they can come together as a team.
Yeah, they know this defense like the back of their hand. I mean, last year you saw a lot of confusion out there, a lot of guys playing slow, scratching their head. What are we supposed to do out here? But today, these guys are flying around the ball, and the free agents they brought in, I can't say enough about it. Curse, the safety, I thought he was just a special teams guy. He's been out there, he's flying around, he's locking up on these tight ends, playing the run well as any safety out there right now. So this defense, they're playing sky high right now.
So coming from a defensive back yourself, how big of an advantage is it to have a guy like Jayron Kearse, who is a bigger safety, can be physical, step up into the box and make some plays in the backfield?
It's a huge advantage because, like you said, you could do everything. You could play in the box against the run, which we know we need him in there, and he has the physical attributes to go out there and lock down tight ends. I remember last year, tight ends gave us fit, especially in the third down. But here, you see them, they just say, hey, you got that dude, lock him up, do what you do. He used those long wickets, those long arms to get the jams on him. He's shutting these tight ends out.
Cowboys ended up giving up over 380 yards of total offense. However, I mean, the turnovers were huge, and they came at big-time situations, especially on third down. They came up big on multiple occasions, stopping the Panthers behind the line of scrimmage and really limiting Sam Darnold. The Panthers missed Christian McCaffrey in this ballgame, no doubt about it. When we come back here on Cowboys OT, Isaiah Stanback tells us exactly how Trayvon Diggs has been so successful to start 2021.
This segment was brought to you by Ashley Home Store, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
Cowboys win it over the Carolina Panthers, 36-28, the final score from AT&T Stadium. Now rejoined by Isaiah Stanback here on Cowboys OT. And, well, we've got a couple plays to look at. Of course, this game was decided by multiple key plays along the way. However, really impressed with what Cedric Wilson was able to do on really a dagger of a touchdown catch in the middle of that third quarter.
Yeah, we talked a lot in the pregame in terms of whether it's going to be the player or is it going to be the coaches, right? And I think this is a great play that really exhibits kind of both parties here. Kellen Moore was in his bag, all right? Kellen Moore has done a heck of a job, and we knew coming into this game that Carolina was going to be a very aggressive team. So I want you guys to pay close attention to Cedric Wilson right here in the slot. The way this play is mapped out, okay, this play is meant to have a screenplay where we have man on block right here, okay? We also have a man on block right here. And what they're going to do here is Schultz is going to come out here to the flat for an easy screen route so that he can go ahead and take the things up the sideline. So when you're playing in a very aggressive defense, the things that you want to take advantage of is these guys coming downhill. Notice where the safety's at. This safety's rolling down. This safety's coming from the backside. So with knowing that this safety, their help is all the way on the backside, we're going to fake the good old screen, fake the block here, take things up the seam because their closest man is way over here trying to come here. He's still going to run the screen route. It's a screen block. He's still going to run the swing. I'm going to show you guys from another angle here exactly how things play out. So as we just talked about, keep your eye on Said here, okay? He has man on. His man is coming there. His safety's rolling all the way over the top, all right? He's going to come out here, run his fake little screen route. Watch the seam that Cedric Wilson has right here that we fully take advantage of, and let's go ahead and play this thing out. Dak gets the ball, pumps, fakes the screen, find the seam right there, pause it for me right there. Boom, okay, right here in this hole. Right there in the hole is where we have, and exactly where's their help at? Their help is all the way trying to find the seam. He can't get there. Easy play for Dak, easy play for Sid. Great job, Kellen Moore.
And how about the move after knowing where that safety was coming over the top? Cedric Wilson said, no mind, let me just go ahead and spin out of this thing and take it into pay dirt. So a fantastic play from Cedric Wilson. Let's flip to the defensive side of the football. We mentioned Trayvon Diggs, 2 interceptions today. 5 on the season. My goodness, what a start Trayvon Diggs has been off to. What made him successful on this second interception?
Film study. Film study and instincts. And right here, you can see the growth and development of this young man right here. First of all, it's know exactly where the down and distance is. This is a line of scrimmage. This is where they have to get to. So there's 3 yards of distance here, okay? So that's number 1. Number 2, I want you guys to see the eyes of Diggs. Look at Diggs looking back here, my fault. Look at Diggs looking right back here at the quarterback, okay? His eyes are on the quarterback. As soon as he sees that quarterback put his foot in this ground, he knows there's going to be a three-step type route that really cuts down the number of routes that DJ Moore here can run. So as we play this thing out, boom, I want you guys to see the snap. 1, 2, 3, stop right there, okay? Right now, you guys see Diggs knows exactly what's going on. His eyes are there, but he's also seeing DJ Moore throttle right here. As soon as he sees him throttle, look at this back foot right here. He is positioning himself to drive on the route. What I mean by drive is he's going to put his weight on his right leg, and he is coming hot and heavy right at DJ Moore because he knows that there's only one route that he can run from this position. Boom, puts his foot in the ground, comes, and not only, like my boy BC said, he did not run up his back. Instead, he took the nice route around because he wants the doggone ball. He doesn't want to just get a hit. He wants to turn over. That's the second of the day. Heck of a job, Diggs.
The way he was able to lock in so quickly was the impressive part, I think, about that play overall. How special is that to see from a second-year corner? That's an experienced move. Only the top corners in the league are able to do something like that. That's so efficient.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. He's taking his physical ability. He's taking the trust that Dan Quinn has in him to play man-to-man coverage, and now you're starting to see him start applying the film study. What can these guys run from this? What's the down and distance? What position do I need to be in to make a play? Should I go ahead and run up his back and just get the tackle, or should I go with this? Do I have enough of an opportunity to make the big play? He's taking the big plays.
It's been a long time since Cowboys Nation has seen a corner or a defensive back in general that can make plays so consistently and so key in wins like this, like Trayvon Diggs today. When we come back, we're going to hear from head coach Mike McCarthy as he had some words to say following the win at the podium when we return with more Cowboys OT. 3 straight wins for the Dallas Cowboys. Just for a little comparison, it took the Cowboys till week 14 of 2020 to get 3 wins or past 3 wins. So the Cowboys certainly off to a great start here in 2021. Here's what head coach Mike McCarthy had to say following the win over Carolina.
All right, David.
Mike, can you start with that burst in the third quarter offensively and defensively for you to turn the game around?
Definitely. I think we came in at halftime, obviously felt good about a lot of things that were going on. It was just really third down. We were spending a little more time on than you normally do because both offense and defense, we were on the wrong side of it. So I think, if I recall, I think they were 4 out of 5, for 80%, and we were I think 2 for something. I can't exactly. So. And I think once we've got going there, because we felt really good about our pass rush defensively going against their protection unit, and I don't think they converted the third down in the second half. So our guys are playing so hard. I love the communication. This was a game. Actually, it was good to get some pressure schemes to go against offensively. They hit us on the first one, the middle dog cross on the first play of the game. So. We need that. We haven't seen a lot of pressure this year. So I really like the way the game flowed, obviously the competitiveness of it, but a lot of adjustment football, and our players and coaches are doing a great job with it.
Trayvon, did he start complaining about the tightness of the back? How serious is it? I know
he could have returned. I think Rich said he could have returned in the game, if needed to. So I know, it's something that I think he got a cleat on it because I talked to him at halftime. So it was bothering him at halftime.
You talk about the level he's playing and both of those interceptions, especially the second one where he's thrown them.
Player of the month. working on second month of the season. He's he's playing with phenomenal confidence. Obviously took the big responsibility today, watching their top receiver and deliver with two huge plays there in the second half. So playing at a very high level right now. It's awesome.
Offensively, probably you got it going with the ground game and with Zeke and Tony. And just Zeke had the big runs. This is the product that he's talked about being in better shape and quicker than in past years.
Yeah, obviously this the only experience I have is last year, and I think just as a whole everything's better. I think just the understanding of how we want to run the football, the commitment to the run. These last 3 weeks has been outstanding, and it just so many good things come off of the run game. So, and just to have Zeke and Tony just to bang all day. It's obviously it's a real strength for us these last 3 weeks.
You talk about the two decisions to go for it on two.
To go for it on two? Yeah, the first one was after the penalty that put the yard line on the ball on the 1 yard line. So that's frankly that's something that we practice. It's all part of our situational football emphasis, and and then there's a point in the game. At some point in the third quarter or fourth quarter, you trust your go for two chart. So that was the second one.
Like they've been really good against the run, Carolina, and they bring a lot of pressure. Was there something you guys saw that made you believe that you still would be able to run the ball even though they've been so good at stopping it today? Yeah,
absolutely. It's once again they've played well against the run, but we've been running very well too. So I just think their pressure schemes, getting in and out of different defensive personnels, our guys are doing a great job identifying it and keeping us in clean looks. As far as proper blocking angles and that's and Tony and Zeke are getting clean looks to a three-man surface particularly, and you can see the ball going back in the A gap. So I just we're hitting a pretty good rhythm right now. It's early. We've only played 4 games, but I really like the way we've run the ball here in the last 3 weeks.
You're talking about.
So Mike McCarthy echoing a little bit of the same sentiment that we talked about earlier in the show of how physical this game had to be for the Cowboys to come out on top. And you got to give a lot of credit to the trenches because it felt like a tug of war between the first half, back and forth. It seemed like Carolina had an inch and then Dallas had an inch. You went back and forth for a little bit. But, Nate, what was the key to getting the offensive line back into form in that second half to build a little bit of a lead?
After last week, we know it needed Tyler Biotish and McGovern, Connor Williams to play well. They played well, man. It was gaping holes. Zeke was running up through there, man, looking like his old self, swagger with a lot of swagger, bringing back to eat and everything. It was a good job by those two guys. We know who Zach Martin is. He's all world, all everything. Steele has been playing consistent. Smith, we don't even mention Tyron Smith's name, but those two guys we've been on, these guys played well. I don't know what Coach Philman did, what he whispered in their ear, what he promised them for a couple of honey buns, but they did their job, man. They did their job, and these two running backs took advantage of it.
Yeah, they did a great job imposing their will on the Carolina Panthers right there. Especially in the second half. It seemed like they were just leaning on these guys. In the first half, Zeke had to battle a little bit, in those first couple yards. The second half, those holes were gaping. Zeke did what he did best, grounded and pounded, and beat these guys into submission.
So Joe Philbin whispering in the ears of the offensive line and then offering them honey buns or the success to a Cowboys third straight win. When we come back, let's hear about the defensive line. We hear from Randy Gregory, who had a couple of sacks in the 36-28 win over Carolina. Welcome back to Cowboys OT, where we continue to break down the Cowboys' 36-28 win over the Panthers at AT&T Stadium. Let's go back out to Arlington and hear from Randy Gregory, who finished with a pair of sacks.
It did. Felt decent. I think that was a product of, us rushing as one, like we like to talk about a lot. Truly believe, the stats are going to come for each and every one of us. you know, if we play as one, rush as one. So.
How impressive is what Chauncey's doing, considering he didn't really have a training camp?
I mean, it's real. I think that's one of the things that hadn't been talked about the most. You know, I don't know, our rookies. You know, I've been here since 2015. I was a rookie also, obviously, and I think I did things a lot different than some of these rookies are doing. But you know, it's real refreshing to see those guys come in here and make the impact they've made, and pick up, you know, the playbook and just the speed of the game as fast as they have. I think that says a lot about our front office and our coaches and the way they can develop young guys, and says a lot about the veterans, making sure the young guys are locked in, and says a lot about the young guys being locked in. So, yeah, I mean, it's nice to see that, and we're expecting them to continue to take those leaps throughout the year.
What kind of role is Diggs on?
Diggs? I don't know. It's Diggs is funny because, you know, I told him before the game, I was like, you know, I need one. And he's like, I'm going to get you two. I'm like, all right. So he got that first. I was like, you know, we're good. He did his job. And then he got that second one. I didn't even know he picked it off. I'm like, did he really pick off another one? And I was like, oh, my God. And Cam Irvin actually came up to me and told me, he's like, man, he got another one. You know, so it was I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the record is. What is it? He keeps on a roll like this. I mean, he'll have it by mid-season. Shit, you know.
11 in the season.
Really? Oh, yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's nice to see. Like I said, I think it's a product of us playing as one. You know, you get after the quarterback and, you know, do that over the course of a game. He's going to throw some ops up there, and, you know, our DBs are doing a good job locking up the wide receivers, getting a lot of PBUs, and obviously getting the picks.
Yeah, how much pride? It's not the interceptions aren't just because of the secondary.
Mm-hmm.
It's because of a lot of times a lot of pressure. What you just talked about.
Yeah.
So you take pride in those INTs just as much.
Definitely. I mean, you know, all three levels. You know, not just D-line and the secondary, but yeah, I think I'm not going to say those plays don't happen if we don't get to the quarterback, but definitely we expect those to happen when you get out to the quarterback. And you know, our secondary playing lights out. You know, we really want ball hawks out there, and even with you know, the big hit, I forget who it was, KZ maybe. Yeah, I mean, even that, you know, some people get mad about that. I thought it was a clean hit. You know, you want to see that in the secondary. Guys going to take your shots and you know, try to make some explosive plays out there.
Let's say about that pass run.
So the third multi-sack game in the career of Randy Gregory, and the first time he's done that against a non-NFC East opponent, because the first two were against Washington and Philadelphia, and now he had a couple sacks against Carolina. Now, he mentioned the physicality of the defense and the ball hawks in the secondary. DeMonte KZ had a big game again, almost had an interception in his own right. What do you think about how physical this defense has been through the first 4 weeks?
I love it. I mean, I love it. We talked so much about culture and the change that was necessary. I mean, obviously what Dan Quinn brought into the team, and you're seeing that effectiveness happen here within this unit. These guys are flying around. They're playing simplistic defenses, but they know exactly what they're going to do. And I know my guy next to me had the crystal ball in terms of the man y'all just heard from, so I'm going to throw it to him.
You know what? I tell you what, man, Randy Gregory, I'm proud of you, man. You had a great training camp. You went up against Tyron Smith. You had your opportunities to get whooped. But today you brought out the whooping stick and you took it to Mr. Irvin. He got, 2 sacks, and he got a face mask against him, so he had a hell of a day, man.
What allowed him to be so successful? Because you're being very humble right now. You had said it all week long that Randy Gregory was going to have a really big game against Cam Irving, but how did he convert?
Well, he was explosive. The first time they got it with a game, they got him with a game. They hit the tackle out, the number 11 out, and he came around inside and busted up the center with those long arms. The second sack he got, he took him upfield and came back inside, and that's what I saw in Cam Irvin. He's the same guy. He don't have feet, and you took him deep into those deep waters, and he couldn't hang with you, so that was a great thing.
Fantastic day from the defensive line. Dak Prescott had another good game, only 188 yards passing, but 4 touchdowns. We hear from QB1 next. Dak Prescott showing off the ultra efficiency throughout the Week 4 win over the Panthers. Just 188 yards passing, but 4 touchdowns and an over 130 passer rating in the win. Here's what he had to say after the game.
I think you talk about the confidence this offense is playing with right now, and you had that opportunity in the third with Steve making some plays where it's just, do you realize the moment you can take over a game and do it, and that's what this offense is now?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously, we think we can beat you at the run, we can beat you at the pass, whatever you're going to give us. The openings, we're going to take them. I mean, Kelly's doing a good job of dialing it up, and guys are just communicating and executing it. But I mean, even tonight, we left some meat on the bone to say. I mean, we left some plays out there, and some. We want to finish that game with another touchdown on one of those last two drives. So I mean, that's just the expectation and the standard of this offense.
Murray played through a little bit today, hammy, and the Reds just talked about the type of game he played for you, especially on that touchdown catch.
Yeah, I mean, he's a fighter, resilient. Just obviously that he had the double move there and didn't get the bite I wanted on the corner. But I mean, I saw Amari Cooper up the sideline one-on-one and said I'm gonna give him a chance. I felt like I missed him in the Chargers game, so I told him I owed him and wasn't gonna miss him there. And I mean, he went and made a great play. Him one-on-one with anybody, I'm gonna take that matchup. And as you said, to play through what he played through, just to do it, whether it was blocking or whether it was just getting open, that just shows the selfless play of him and just this team.
Really quiet. It's 4 touchdown game. You ever had, I guess, 180 yards pass. You had a couple of runs, but.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't realize I didn't even break 200. Dang. But yeah, I guess so. I mean, but that's kind of the strength of this offense, getting the ball in these guys' hands, and you see what they can do afterwards. And then what Kellen's dialing up. I mean, the play to said, we took advantage of something that we did in the first half to come back and use it against them, and then Spring set open for that touchdown. Dalton later. Yeah, I mean, just being able to mix it around and get it in different guys' hands, and all of these guys are greedy. They know the next guy's going to go try to make a touchdown if they don't get theirs with their opportunity. So, as I said, that's the strength, and that's the plus of it.
How did it feel to run an open field? I mean, you had a couple of runs, 19 yards. How did it feel to be out there running?
Yeah, it felt good. I don't feel like I've moved that fast in a while. One of them I was trying to, like, should I get out of bounds? I think I can get some more. But, no, it was good. I mean, just doing whatever it takes to win. That's what presented itself on that play, and just had to go get it.
Your ankle was fine.
So Dak Prescott didn't have to do a ton to win this football game, and that's exactly what you want to see. I mean, that's when the offense is clicking on all cylinders, when you're able to get the run game going, stay efficient in the pass game, and really work behind your offensive line.
No, you just said it, Cobb. I mean, this is exactly what you want to see out of Dak. I know everybody loves to see the big numbers from Dak, the 300-plus yards, 400 yards. You know, some people like to see the 58 attempts. We don't. We like to see 20 to 25 passes out of him. We love to see, 200-plus yards on the ground. Be efficient, be effective, move the chains, score touchdowns, get a W.
Yeah, this is exactly the type of offense that's sustainable. I mean, we went out there that first game, like you mentioned, 58 pass attempts out there. That's not going to be able to sustain the whole season. Right now, we got an extremely great balance, close to 200 on the ground. Dak Prescott, extremely efficient, 14 for 22, 4 touchdowns, 130 rating. I mean, this guy is playing extremely efficient, and he's putting this offense in the best position to be productive. That's what you like to see from QB1. Dak Prescott, he's doing his thing today.
He definitely has that offense rolling. Here's some of the numbers from the win today. And, I mean, first downs, 24. That's a sky-high number. That's become really a norm from this offense because they're so efficient. These drives continue on for such an elongated period of time. And then you look at the balance rushing yards, 245 yards on the ground. Are you kidding me?
Man.
I mean, how dangerous is this offense right now, Isaiah?
They're very dangerous. Somebody needs to lift the doggone little clear button and push the red button because these boys are a problem. Anybody that plans on facing the Dallas Cowboys, get your mind right because Kellen Moore is in his bag, and every time he comes out there, whether it's a third down or whether it's a fourth down, he is going to test you. He's going to test you. He's going to continue to push the envelope, and guess what? His guys know that they have trust in each other. These guys are making plays. They're moving the chains. I'm proud of them.
And as a defense, how do you prepare for these guys? I mean, look, they can ground and pound you into submission like we saw these last 2 weeks, or if need be and they need to attack your secondary, they got the weapons outside and the quarterback, who's an extension of the coaching staff, to go out there and do the damage that way. So I see this team as being extremely balanced, and it's going to be hard for defenses to go ahead and prepare for these guys each week in and week out.
Especially when Ezekiel Elliott is able to run the ball like he did today.
Yes.
Another career game for Zeke. We hear from him when we come back after the break with more Cowboys OT. Dallas Cowboys with a 36-28 win over the Carolina Panthers, and it was the first time for Ezekiel Elliott going over 140 yards on the ground since Week 10 of 2018. Here's his thoughts following the win.
Ooh, what's going on? I'm good, man. That always catches me up when I say what's up to someone. They be like, you?
Zeke, what was the big difference in the mentality of the team coming out in the second half?
I mean, we just knew we had to go take care of business. So, I mean, we came out hot, came out with our piss hot, came out ready to go win that football game.
How many things have to go right, blocking everything to hit a 50-yarder like you had there?
Yeah, especially in this league, a lot of things have to go right. You got to normally make a guy miss. But, I mean, the O-line, they dominated the line of scrimmage today. By the end of the game, those guys really didn't want any more to run. I mean, we run for 250 today. But I think we got a real nice system going right now. Just, me and TP in there keeping each other fresh. And I think we're going to keep this thing going.
I don't want to say surprised, but I mean they had the #1 rushing defense heading into this game, 244 yards, I think. Just impressed by, I don't know, how easy y'all made it look today.
I mean they're a good defense. They bring a lot of different fronts to the table. They're going to run a lot of different things, so they're going to change it up on you. So it's kind of hard to kind of get a beat on what they're going to do. But they hadn't seen an offense like us this year. And so, I mean, we came out, we played good ball.
Zeke, obviously, you're one of the handful of names people can pick out any day of the week. But what does it mean, and what does it say about this team after 4 weeks that we're starting to hear names like Wilson and Schultz and Basham and Golston and J-Ron Curse? What does that say about this team?
It says a lot. We've been saying this since the beginning. We're deep. We're deep at every position. I mean, we even got some guys injured right now. So, I mean, just ability for us to go out there and everyone play well. No one has to take too much of a load. No one has to put too much on themselves. All we have to do is play with each other and play for each other.
You mentioned
Zeke following a big game is must-watch television in his interview, and maybe sometimes it has a parental advisory at the same time, just depending on what kind of mood he's in. But he was in a great mood there, and he gave a lot of credit to the offensive line. I mean, the physicality, we've mentioned it throughout the show. It was apparent, and kind of like how you said earlier, Carolina didn't want any more of the physicality toward the end of the game.
No, they didn't want any part of it, and obviously they wanted to go on vacation. They wanted to get away from this thing. And obviously you just heard Zeke say he gave him yellow snow. So these guys did a great job offensively. Obviously, everybody's going to look at the stats and see Zeke, but what comes before Zeke is the big fellas up front, and they took care of their assignments. You just heard him speaking about their versatile fronts, and when you're facing a defense that presents a lot of different fronts to you, a lot of guys at the second level in terms of Shaq and some of those other guys that are going to come down and fill gaps, you are going to give a lot of credit to your guys up front for making those holes, because these holes were Red Sea oriented, and Zeke did a good job of running through them.
You know, when I look at the game, Coach McCarthy always say, you know what, it's one thing to run the ball, but to know when it's coming. That's when you know you're good. These guys are good. They've been consistent these last 2 or 3 weeks. Kellen Moore has had the nerves and to do it, and they've taken advantage of it. Zeke, man, like fine wine, it only get better with time. Believe that.
The play calling has certainly opened up because of Kellen Moore, and it's opened up Zeke to have some more freedom, I think, in this offense. But he's looked different this year. I mean, and even you heard Greg Olsen talking about it. The guy looks like he's slimmed down and he is quick.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of work that he's put in this offseason, a lot of his highlight reels and Instagram or whatever else it may be. He worked hard. He lost weight. He got a specialist that helped him with his cuts. That's the aspect of his game he felt like he was lacking. So guess what? Take the Michael Jordan approach. Something you're lacking in, make it your strength.
You know, when we was in training camp, out there, he was taking like the old Zeke. He'd take the ball, run 25 extra yards, even after the play, the whistle was blown. And this is the guy we saw today, that 25 extra yards. Every time he had that ball in training camp, showed up late in the game today.
There were a lot of players that played a huge role in the win for the Cowboys. Ezekiel Elliott, one of those. Trayvon Diggs was another one, as he had a couple of key interceptions, now up to 5 on the year. We hear from one of the top corners in the NFL. Yeah, you heard me right, when we return on Cowboys OT.
Cowboys OT was brought to you by Geico. 85 years of savings and service. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full and condensed game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl.
Before we wrap up Cowboys OT, we have to go out to AT&T Stadium and hear the post-game reaction from Trayvon Diggs following his 4th and his 5th interceptions of 2021.
Don't get rattled by the fans over there. Now you're playing in front of 80,000.
They've been doing that the last 20 minutes.
Trey, what's your definition of a lockdown cornerback?
Darrell Revis. When he out there playing, that's somebody that I really watch and really look up to. You know, he's my definition of a true lockdown corner. So, him.
If you were watching this game today, you think you made him feel proud?
I hope so.
Can you just tell us what happened with your back? Or did you have a back injury? What happened in the fourth quarter?
I was just having back tightness. Yeah.
So it was just all cautious?
Mm-hmm.
Something that came up early in the game?
Yeah, early in the game.
Did you get stepped on?
Mm-hmm. Something like that.
Something like that. Could you have played throughout if needed?
They wanted to hold me. Didn't want to risk it. Just had back tightness, bro. Sick.
You know, you've had so many interceptions now. It's still kind of a surprise guys are throwing your way. Are you expecting that maybe they could just stop throwing your way?
No, I don't want them to stop throwing. Keep throwing. I need more.
Can you describe the confidence you're playing with, given that you're responsible for half the team's turnovers at this point?
I just feel like, I'm just reading my keys, just, being me, playing, how I'm playing, just trying to play at a high level and just, just trying to win.
You jumped over the receiver's back. Can we just break down that play?
Say it one more time.
When you jumped over the receiver's back to get that one pick, break down that play, what you saw, that kind of stuff?
Just reading my keys again, seeing the receiver, seeing the quarterback throw the ball, and just, just broke on the ball. And I almost dropped it, but, I had to juggle it and bring it back in. But, I was just reading my keys and just making a play.
That was the second one, right?
Yeah, that was the second one.
What happened? What did you see on the first interception?
The first one, we was in a zone, and I was just, kind of reading the quarterback, seeing him turn my way, and he threw it right to me.
Do you have the attitude that the ball's in the air is mine as much as theirs?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like if they throw it and I can get it, I'm going to get it before he get it.
How much time do you
Trayvon Diggs, the second player in team history to record 5 interceptions through the first 4 games, joining Chuck Howley in the 1968 season. Here's the final stats in the 36-28 win over the Carolina Panthers. First loss of the year for Matt Rule's Panthers after they started 3-0. The Cowboys have now won 3 straight after falling by 2 in the opening week against the reigning Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Cowboys firing on all cylinders at this point, and they've got one more home game against the Giants next week before they hit the road again. Isaiah, what are your thoughts on this win?
It's amazing, especially as we're talking about defensively and Diggs, he needs to give a lot of credit to his front 7. These boys are getting home, and that's exactly what a Dan Quinn type of defense, right? The front 7 gets back there, adds some pressure to the quarterback. The quarterback throws either inaccurate or ill-advised passes, and guess what? Your cornerbacks, you reap the rewards of it.
Yeah, these guys are playing winning football right now. They got a winning formula added up right now. They got the defense who they kind of a bend but don't break system. When they get into the red zone, they find ways to stop them or take the ball away. And then you got an offense that's hitting on all cylinders, whether it's running the football, passing the football. These guys are extremely efficient right now, and they got the winning formula.
Cowboys with 3 wins on the season, and now I mentioned that matchup next week with New York. What do they need to fix going into that one from what you saw in this game?
I think you're going to take a look at everything. I'm not sure that you really put your hand on one particular thing. There are some opportunities that may have presented themselves. We got away with some potential fumbles. We definitely need to shore that up so that make sure that doesn't carry over into any future games.
Yeah, they got to hold on to the football. I mean, we got extremely lucky out there with that Dalton Schultz fumble, that early on fumble that led to a Dallas Cowboys touchdown. But we got to make sure we hold on to the ball, continue to take the ball away defensively, and that'll work. But we cannot get away with these fumbles as the weeks progress.
You always look at quarters of the NFL season along the way. Now, you do have an extra game tapped on to the end of the regular season, but through the first quarter, 3-1, that's a pretty good start, Isaiah.
I'll give it an A-.
Wow. A-. Okay, we're giving out grades. Why an A-?
I think A- simply because of these guys. You know, there's some opportunities they wish they had. Tampa being one. Let's keep it going.
Very, very quick grade.
Oh yeah, I'm giving them an A+.
Okay.
I mean, that's simple as that.
Here as well. For Isaiah Stanback, Nate Newton, and Barry Church, I'm Kyle Yeomans. That does it for Cowboys OT. The Cowboys win it over the Carolina Panthers, 36-28, the final score.